What's going on, guys? Magnolia Mo here, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about 2025's weapons. This is not your typical movie review. This movie review is geared towards home theater enthusiasts like myself. I'm going to go over the equipment that I am going to use for this review, and I'm going to put it in the description of this video as well if you want to refer to it afterwards. So I wanted to do this a little bit different this time and see if this works better than just me talking and pointing my camera to various speakers and so on and so forth. So I'd appreciate if you guys can leave me some comments and some feedback about the way this video was done. All right, so let's get started. This is my review of the digital stream of Weapons, which was directed by Zach Greger, stars Julie Garner as Justine and Josh Brolin as Archer. From a technical specification standpoint, runtime is 2 hours and 8 minutes, sound mix is Dolby Atmos. From an aspect ratio perspective, digital stream is 239 by 1. There was, in the movies, there was an IMAX version which was 1.90 by 1, but obviously the digital stream did not carry over the IMAX scenes. The digital intermediate is 4K and it's presented in Dolby Vision. All right, so those were the technical specifications. Let's go over the equipment that I am using for the review, and we'll get into the sound design, the sound mix, and then the video. From a rating standpoint, instead of using an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 scale for audio video and overall movie, I'm just going to tell you, is it worth it to own from a collection standpoint, right? So that you can rewatch the movie. From a home theater standpoint, is it worth it or not? Simple as that. All right, let's get going. Here is the layout, right? I have a 7.2.6 setup in this room, but the Denon X3800 is only 11 channels, so currently I'm only using 5.2.6. so that I can accurately describe the height channel usage in a movie. Denon is actually powering, my front and rear heights and the top middles, and then the Macintosh, hopefully you can see that, that is doing the 5 channels, of the bed layer. And this is running Apple TV, and this is my 77-inch Sony OLED A80J. Okay, so let's quickly take a look at the extras as far as the digital stream's concerned. First, you have the director Zach Greger's commentary around making horror personal, right? I watched that. I actually really enjoyed that. Gives you lots of insight into his mindset. Then you have Weaponized, the cast of Weapons. Then lastly, you have Weapons Texture of Terror. That is it for the extras. So from a sound design perspective, right, the sound design for this movie is awesome. It makes full use of all of your bed layer speakers and your front heights and your top middles, right? To the point where I believe the top middles are heavily used throughout the movie to complement what's going on, on screen, with occasional discrete objects, right, or discrete sounds being played in your front height speakers. I did not hear much going on in the rear heights throughout the movie. So I would say that this is a 7.1.4 mix, right, as opposed to a 7.1.2. Which you may be led to believe because most of the action is in your top middles, yes, but there is occasional discrete objects or sounds that are placed in your front heights as well. So starting with this first scene, you will hear some music playing in your surrounds as the kid's talking and kind of giving us background on what happened in this town, right? And then once the movie starts going, you're gonna hear music, the actual soundtrack playing in your bed layer speakers as well as your top middles. And then once we get to the second scene where they are actually having a conference in the school and you have someone talking at the podium, that person, to me, that's probably the best use that I can describe, right, without giving away too much, about this movie, right, where it sets the stage for how the sound design is going to be in this movie. So when Justine is sitting and actually looking at the speaker, or the person speaking at the podium, his voice and the camera basically is behind Justine. So the voice of the speaker is in front, right, in the center speaker, but then there is some added ambience in your top middles to give you that feeling that you are in an auditorium. But that person's voice moves with the camera. As the camera is panning, around the room, the person is going to move, throughout your speakers. But at the same time, he's actually going to move to the front heights as well. So we'll take a look at that right now. So this is where you have music essentially playing through your front, left, right, center. There's music in your surrounds, and there is music in the top middles as well. Here's that auditorium, and here's the person who's speaking on the podium. In the top middles as well. Now he's moved over to the front heights. And then Josh Brolin, he's in your center speaker because he's in front. Now he's up in your top middle as he's talking, Josh Brolin, and then the speaker's right here. Now he's on to your left. Okay, and in this next scene, at the 10-minute 27 mark, she's in her home. By the way, the shadow detail is excellent as well. You can pretty much see everything, in the background and in the foreground. So in this scene, she's watching TV. The sound from the TV is actually going to move to your top middles right there. And the refrigerator door opens in the left speaker. The bell rings. Bell's kind of, behind you a little bit, with the TV still going in your top middles.
Hello?
Dialogue is clear throughout the movie, and this is what I'm talking about. So the camera follows the character, right, to add suspense to what's going on screen. And that's, to me, that's what builds, the entire suspense, I guess, throughout the movie. There's going to be some bass that's going to come through your subwoofers when the door, when there's a bang on the door right there. So there are jump scares in this movie, and the jump scares, I have to note here, is that you have to pay attention, because they're not like useless jump scares. The jump scares have some meaning to it, and you need to be following along as to what's going on throughout, right? So if you miss it, then you probably miss a clue, right? So each jump scare in the movie has a clue. And the music is top notch, right? As you will see in this particular scene, it's dynamic, it hits you in your chest at times. Take a listen.
Children, just gonna meet.
That's enough. Everybody needs to give us some space, please.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All get a good night's sleep. With the
So I hope you got a taste of the music there through my mic here. Hopefully it captured it. But the music is great in the movie as well, and I've talked about it many times. For me, most important things, from an audio design perspective, it's not just the sound effects and things like that are going through your speakers. It's also the overall musical score, right? In this movie, the musical score, again, along with the camera and the visuals, adds to the suspense and the build-up as we're going through the movie. So here's the music again. The stereo imaging in your left and right speakers with the dialogue. It actually goes through your surround speakers. It's percussions and some hi-hat action going on. See? It's good. It's perfect. It's perfect for this movie, in my opinion. At the 46-minute, 26-second mark, this is where the action really picks up. all of your speakers are going to be going during this particular sequence. The subwoofers especially get a good workout. The bass is not overpowering, but it's solid, right? It's not going to go down to the really, like the 20 hertz frequency or even lower. Like I would say, without testing it, right, I can tell that it goes to at least 30 hertz, right? There's some good 30 hertz action specifically in this particular scene. I'm going to cover the screen so that you can actually hear it. Here comes the bass. And then the final act, right? 1 hour, 51-minute mark, when there's pretty much lots of action going on. Your top middles are highly active along with your front heights. I actually did hear a little bit going on in the rear heights, but not to the extent where maybe it's a little bit of the bleed from the top middle that's going over there, but it's primarily your top middle. And then when this scene starts going, the drums, or the percussion, goes above you, actually in your bass speakers. As the percussions are going around your various speakers, your top middles, your front height, right, left, right, it's going to have the same effect, a swirling effect in this particular scene in your heights as well as in your bass speakers. So it's a well-designed Dolby Atmos mix, which adds so much more to the movie. It's not just your bass level speakers playing throughout. The dialogue is clear throughout. I didn't have to rewind or pause during the movie. It was a great movie to watch in your home overall. You see the percussions, and you hear the screaming in the top middles. The percussions are going all around from your front speakers to your top middles, and there's a little bit of bleed that happens in your rear heights as well. Great soundtrack. From an overall audio perspective, I think the audio design is superb in this movie. The bass doesn't hit low, but it's very impactful. The dialogue is clean and clear throughout the movie. The sound panning is awesome, with a very good use of your top middles and your front heights. I did hear the rear heights towards the end of the movie a little bit. So overall, it's very engaging from an audio and from a musical score standpoint. So it's totally worth it to own. From a video standpoint, I've talked about the shadow detail. The skin tones are very good in this movie. All of the dark scenes are rendered perfectly. From a specular highlights perspective, I would say there wasn't much, right, in terms of that in this movie. Most of the movie, is going to be in the dark, right? Some of the sequences are in the dark, so you should have a very good display so that you can appreciate the contrast and the black levels that this movie has to offer, right? So from a video standpoint as well, it is worth it to own. It is a clean transfer and it's crisp as well from a 4K standpoint, right? So it is overall, it is worth owning from an audio video perspective, and I do recommend it. All right, guys, so I hope you guys found this video useful, and I hope you can leave me some feedback, some comments around the structure of this video, and if you prefer to see it this way, or if you prefer to see these movie reviews that I do the other way, which is just me talking with some specific video shots of where the sound's coming from a speaker perspective. So let me know. All right, guys, as usual, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.